Hi, this is the molar mass of butane experiment. So I'm going to go through and collect the data. I'm going to record or tell you the different measurements. Make sure you're recording it as we go. All right, so in the procedure, first thing is to fill the bucket with room temp water and get a lighter from the teacher. So here's the lighter. It says submerge the butane lighter under water because we want to fill all the cracks with water. Because they will be filled later when we weigh it again. So we want to minimize any sort of error there. So then I'm going to dry off the outside though. So any part that we can dry, we're going to dry, which we'll do the same after. Because butane is this gas in here, and we're going to release it in gas form. So it's a liquid in here, we're going to release it in gas form. So there will be less after we release it, obviously. So the mass right now beforehand is 13.66 grams. All right, so then it says remove the bottom plastic from a 100 milliliter graduated cylinder, and we're gonna fill it to the brim with water. Carefully submerge it with your hand over the top. Basically, we want this whole thing filled and then inverted. So here's the top opening. So what I'm gonna do is, because my bucket is big enough, I'm gonna fill it up under the water. And I'm going to make sure all of the air bubbles are out of it. So I'm going to kind of tip the open end up and tap it so all the bubbles go out. So when I flip it over, I don't know if you can see this, but in here there are no bubbles, okay, and it's completely filled with water. As long as I keep the open part under the surface of the water, none of the water will come out. All right, so now I'm going to take my lighter. I'm going to hold it under the opening. I'm going to release it. So if I just push down on the black little lever here, the bubbles are going to come out and gas is going to fill up in here. So we're collecting it over water so that we're going to have it contained and the water will push out. So I'm going to underneath, I don't know if you can see it or not, probably not. And I'm just going to release the lever, and all of the bubbles have to go up into my tube. And I'm going to do this until I'm between 95 and 97 milliliters. Here we go. I want to make sure my bubbles have stopped. All right, I'm going to take this out. It says mass and record that. I'm going to do this part first and come back to this. I'm just going to set that down. So I'm going to find the volume of the gas that's in here. So I don't know if you can see very well, but the water level is right around here. And the rest of this is butane gas that I just bubbled up into there. So what I want to do is to read this as accurately as possible. I want my water level in my tub, so the level in the tub, to match up with the water level in my graduated cylinder, and then I'm going to read the volume. So this is harder than it looks. All right, and I'm going to say mine looks like it is 99.8 milliliters. So that's the volume of my gas. All right, then I'm going to take this out. Actually, I'm just going to set it down in here. I'm going to go dry this off and weigh a butane lighter. I've got 13.38 grams, so it is less, like we thought, 13.38. And now I need the temperature of my water. Let's see. I've got 22.2 degrees Celsius. And the atmospheric pressure, I just looked it up, is 99.29 kPa. So the pressure will be the same for all of them. We'll check, I'm guessing our temperature will remain the same, but we'll check that for all of them. All right, so let's do 2 more trials. All right, our mass we just took is going to be our start mass for this next trial. All right, and then I'm going to fill my graduated cylinder again, get all the bubbles out. Okay, flip it over. Now I'm going to my lighter under here. want to make sure all the bubbles are going up into the tube. Any bubbles that would leave the tube would cause some error. It's a little less than 95, but that's okay. All right, I will draw that and weigh it in a second. Oh. Actually, I got to redo that one. Sorry, everybody. This is just what happens when students do it in class. I lifted it up too high, and I let the gas out. All right, so we got to get a new initial mass. All right, 13.22 grams is our initial mass for trial 2. Okay, I'm going to do the gas again. I will be more careful this time at the end, I promise. All right, so my volume, being much more careful this time, is 90. I'm going to say 95.4. Okay, so my volume is 95.4. Let's try this off. The mass is 13.02. And let's make sure our temperature is still the same. Yep, I'm going to say the same, 22.2 still. All right, and we'll do one more trial. So our initial mass is the same as the one we just ended for trial 3. I'm going to fill this up again. Okay, flip it over. Here we go. So we're going to use this data to experimentally calculate the molar mass of butane. I know you can look at the periodic table with the knowing the formula, C4H10. You can add it up, but we're going to do it experimentally, and then we're going to compare to that periodic table calculated value. I'm going to say 90.5. 90.5 is my volume. Let's mass this. .79 is the mass for this. Our temperature is still 22.2, and our atmospheric pressure did not change this whole time. So now you should have all of the data for your data table for you to analyze it and come to a conclusion.